Viewers, good evening. Thank you for joining me on India Upfront. The opposition, in fact, leaders of opposition across parties, they are in a state of intense agitation. They are fuming, lashing out. Some say they're even resorting to filthy abuses. The reason, viewers, is a speech made by the Chief Justice of India, DY Chandrachud. And what does he do in this speech? What the CJI does, viewers, is to speak to the residents of his native village in Maharashtra about the time he was on the Supreme Court bench that delivered the historic Ayodhya verdict. The Chief Justice of India talks about how there were occasions during his long career in the judiciary when there would be a situation of deadlock, when it would seem like there's no clear path to follow. He says that such a situation even arose during the months-long Ayodhya hearings. The CJI reflected on that tumultuous period and said that there was even a time when he appealed to God himself to find a solution, and that was all he had to say. Viewers, the opposition has put two and two together as only politicians can and has gone on a rampage against the CJI, who is, by the way, set to retire next month. Viewers, let's be clear. The CJI was speaking to his native villagers about the power of faith. As a person who has seen and done the things he has, with his breadth of experience and accomplishments, CJI knows that despite everything else, faith and perseverance may sometimes be the last and only resort. All he did was tell the eager crowd that he too has been in hopeless situation, and it's his belief and devotion that came to his rescue. But viewers, if you ask the opposition, their outrage would have you believe he did something far, far worse. Let's make it clear, viewers, the CJI did not propagate any particular faith. He did not seek to convert or sway people. And he certainly did not say that God himself dictated the Ayodhya verdict to him. Remember, viewers, there's no requirement for the CJI to be either atheist or agnostic. Some of us are professional enough to not let our personal beliefs interfere with our work. And let's be clear, Justice DY Chandrachud hasn't reached the very zenith of his profession because he doesn't know the difference between spirituality and the law. In fact, what would be more worrying would be if he was to artificially suppress his faith or pretend to be someone he is not. After all, not everyone has the luxury to be a Janevdhari yesterday, a Shiv Bhakt today, and a caste crusader tomorrow. But why are the opposition parties in such a state of alarm? Why? Why are they such a nervous ball of energy when it comes to the CJI? Why does the Congress think the CJI has been deceptive? And why does RJD think he has made a grave mistake? And why? Oh, why does the AIMIM overseas party, viewers, have a triumphant eureka on their lips? Let's be clear, the Ayodhya verdict, viewers, was a historic one and should be celebrated. There were people who claimed Bharat Jalega. I'm sure you're aware of it, because of the Mandir dispute. But now the Ram Mandir is open and that acrimonious chapter of India's history is firmly closed. And this bid to tarnish the verdict and the justice must also stop.
मी भारताचा सरन्यायाधीश झालो. कित्येक वेळा काम करताना असं होतं बघा कोर्टात की याचा पर्याय काय आहे, याचा सोल्युशन काय आहे हे सुचत नाही आपल्याला. जेव्हा मी अयोध्येचं काम माझ्या पुढे आलं होतं, म्हणजे शेकडो वर्ष ज्याला कोणी सोल्युशन मानलं नाही ते काम आमच्या पुढे आलं होतं. आणि त्यावेळेला एक असं झालं ते काम चालूच असताना की ह्याच्यात मार्ग कसा शोधायचा, आम्हाला कोणालाही माहिती नव्हतं ह्याच्यात मार्ग कसा शोधता येईल. त्यावेळेला मी आपल्या दररोजच्या दैनंदिन जीवनात माझी जी पूजा करतो तेव्हा मी देवांच्या पुढे भगवंतांच्या पुढे मी बसतो तिथे आणि मी त्यांना सांगितलं ह्याच्यात मार्ग तुम्हीच शोधून द्या.
CJI is a deceptive and hypocrite. It's unfortunate that the CJI say that's on the basis of faith, not on the basis of facts. The judgments should be delivered and had been delivered. What about the law? Law goes on the basis of facts, evidences.
लेकिन ये देश संविधान से चलता है. ये देश न्याय के मंदिर में अपने नियम कानून से चलता है.
संविधान का अपमान यही कांग्रेस की पहचान, संवैधानिक पदों पर बैठे हुए लोगों का अपमान कांग्रेस की पहचान। अब जिस प्रकार की भाषा कांग्रेस पार्टी के लोकसभा के प्रत्याशी वरिष्ठ नेता उदित राज ने चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया के बारे में बोली है, ऐसी टिप्पणी इलेक्शन कमीशन पर भी, प्रधानमंत्री पद पर भी, हर संवैधानिक संस्था पर और लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाओं पर और भारत विरोधी बातें करना ये कांग्रेस की फितरत बन चुकी है।
You heard the reactions. Let's quickly open this up. RP Singh, national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Vishnu Shankar Jain, advocate. Dr. Anand Ranganathan needs no introduction. IP Singh, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst. And Sajid Supariwala, leader of the Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray faction, completes the panel. Gentlemen, good evening. Dr. Ranganathan, what are we seeing? I mean, you know, we had almost the same debate when the CJI celebrated Ganesh Chaturthi with Prime Minister Modi.
Absolutely. Good evening, Pranesh, and good evening to my fellow panelists. I think this world has turned upside down. For heaven's sake, a pun not intended, praying to God for a solution does not mean that the solution is provided by God. Quote, praying, meditating is to garner inner peace and confidence. Quote, I owe everything to Goddess Namakal who leaves formulae on my tongue in my dreams. Who said this? Ramanujan. Quote, I always found solutions to difficult engineering problems during the prayer of Fajr. Who said this? APJ Abdul Kalam. Narinder Kapani, inventor of the fiber optic cable, was a religious Sikh and believer in the divinity of sacred gurus. Quote, Earth was formed by God in 6 days. Who said this? Raymond Damadian, inventor of the MRI. ISRO chief prays at Tirupati before every launch. Please remember, all this does not mean that the consequences are a result of your praying or meditating. The only friend of justice is evidence. And evidence it was that prevailed in the Supreme Court Ayodhya verdict. This is deliberately being clouded so that people can attack the verdict and say it was not based on evidence but on meditation or prayer. I take you back, Pranesh, to the story of the Turin shroud that for 2000 years was believed to have been used for wrapping the body of Jesus Christ after crucifixion. Until in 1989, when scientists proved through carbon dating that it was actually only 600 years old. That is the brute force of truth and science and evidence. They are the bulwarks of justice, not faith and emotion. Let me sum up the SP Ayodhya judgment with facts taken from the judgment verbatim. This is what the Supreme Court accepted. Number one, the Babri Mosque was not constructed on vacant land. The excavation indicated the presence of an underlying structure below the disputed structure. Two, the underlying structure was a piece of equal, if not larger dimensions than the disputed structure. Three, the excavation of the walls of the underlying structure coupled with the presence of pillar bases supports the conclusion of the ASI of the presence of a structure underlying the disputed structure. The underlying structure was not of Islamic origin. 6. Archaeological finds in the area of excavation reveal significant traces of successive civilizations, commencing with the age of the North Black polished ware traceable to the 2nd century BC on a preponderance of probabilities. The archaeological findings on the nature of the underlying structure indicated to be of Hindu religious origin dating to the 12th century AD. The mosque in dispute was constructed upon the foundations of pre-existing structure. The layered excavation at the site of excavation has also revealed the existence of a circular shrine together with Makara Pranala, indicating of Hindu worship dating back to the 8th century AD. The conclusion which has been drawn by the ASI that the nature of the underlying structure and the recoveries which have been made would on stylistic grounds suggest the existence of temple structure dating back to the 12th century. Finally, the 1891 ASI report was also cited by one of the Supreme Court judges, and it unequivocally stated that Mir Khan built a masjid on the Janam Sthan during the reign of Babur, which still bears his name. The old temple court must have been a very fine one. And after the Ayodhya judgment, when the foundations were being laid for the new Ram temple, you know it. Excavations found tens of idols and inscriptions of Hindu gods and goddesses, all of which pointed to the fact that there indeed was a Hindu temple underneath the mosque. So please, do not try and cloud and, say that the Supreme Court judgment was based on faith of one judge. It was based on hard evidence and science.
Tehseen, what are we outraging about? just because the CJI has said that during the course of the hearing, he turned to God for solutions, does that mean that the God dictated the verdict? Because, some of the comments that we've seen, they are saying precisely that.
Good evening, Pranesh. Thank you for having me on the show at the onset. I did not understand what Ram Gopal Yadavji wanted to say, so I think the spokesperson to clarify, he said that he's not used the language that he has for the CJI. Nevertheless, such language for anyone should not be used. That's the first point. The second point, I slightly disagree with my fellow atheist and panelist, Dr. Anand Ranganathan. In the same Supreme Court judgment that Anand was speaking about, the Supreme Court notes that the structure that was demolished, which was the Babri Mosque, because it was demolished after our constitution came in, the earlier structure was built before constitution came in, it was an act of violence, was an act of vandalism, and should not have occurred. And I don't think there's any other country in the world that is greater than India. The Muslim side got 5 acres of land as well to build another mosque. So I think that this dispute should be settled. Now let me leave religion, faith, and quantum aside and ask a simple question. Let me ask a political question, because that's what we are here for, politics. Even assuming somebody had an issue or say that this is a judgment based on religion, which I don't think it is, what sense does it make to bring it up before a state elections? Let's ask you a political question. The Babri Masjid Ram Mandir dispute is settled. Everyone's accepted it. We've moved on. As a nation, we've moved on. It was a chapter that shouldn't have occurred. It's occurred. We moved on. We moved on peacefully. Both communities. Why are we bringing it up? Let anyone do the judgment as they want. The problem for my side is that we want to defeat the BJP, but we fall into the BJP trap because now the BJP has brought up this issue. Now, how can you stop the BJP? So,
how is the BJP? We are talking about the CJI Tehseen. First,
Yes.
you've linked it
But
to
the BJP
polls.
is gonna
The
use it.
CJI, by
They're
the
gonna
way,
use
has
it.
nothing to do with the elections. And then
I
you're
agree,
saying
but
that this
they're
is
gonna
about
use
the
it.
BJP.
BJP
This is
is
not. Vishnu Shankar Jain,
which
is it right to link devotion to justice? And can devotion be a ground to discredit justice?
See, Pranesh, I want to say today on your show that I am seeing this new trend in our democracy that whenever any judge talks about any issue, we actually start targeting the honorable judge rather than understanding what he has said. Let me tell you that in Ayodhya Ram Mandir case, apart from Justice Chandrachud, Justice Bobde was there in the bench, Justice Gogoi was there in the bench, Justice Nazir was there in the bench, and apart from that, Justice Ashok Bhushan was there in the bench. And this is a unanimous verdict. Justice Chandrachud is also one of the authors of this judgment. Justice Bhushan is also one of the authors of the judgment, and other judges are also the authors of this judgment. So being a unanimous judgment, if you are criticizing a particular judge, I think it is absolutely erroneous and it is contemptuous. What the Honorable Chief Justice of India has said in an event in Pune, has said that he has taken divine intervention and he is also a part of a particular faith. He is practicing a particular faith. Now today, if the Chief Justice of India is saying that at that point of time during 9th November 2019, when their entire country was having an extreme pressure as to what the Honorable Supreme Court is going to say, and he has done some divine intervention and he has done meditation and he has taken blessings of a particular deity to come to dispense his task, to dispense the task of administration of justice. I think there is nothing erroneous about it. And I don't know what Mr. Tehseen Poonawala is talking about, but I have heard that news clipping of Mr. Ram Gopal. I think it is absolutely contemptuous. He may keep on clarifying that what he meant to say, but I have heard it, and it is absolutely contemptuous, and it is in violation of Section 15 of the Contempt Act 1971.
IP Singh जी, अगर चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया ये कहते हैं कि मैंने भगवान को से प्रार्थना की कि मुझे सल्यूशन में मदद कीजिए, तो इसका क्या मतलब है? ऑपोजिशन कह रही है तो वर्डिक्ट में दिक्कत है.
आज प्रोफेसर रामगोपाल यादव जी ने, हमारे राष्ट्रीय महासचिव, उन्होंने चूंकि बहराइच का मामला है और मुद्दे थे उस पर और लोगों का वो जवाब दे रहे थे, और उन्होंने कहा कि चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया की जो रेपुटेशन है, जो न्यायिक व्यवस्था, उसका हम बहुत सम्मान करते हैं. इस बात को हमारे राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी ने कहा कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट का हमारे लिए बहुत ज्यादा सम्मान है. इस तरह की कोई बात हमारी पार्टी ने नहीं कहा, ना हम कोई ऐसी बात कहते हैं.
मिस्टर सुपारीवाला, व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम विद व्हाट द सीजीआई हैज सेड?
Now, let me speak for non-disturbance, let me just continue with what I'm saying, because I'm very prepared in my mind from such a long time. I'm hearing the panelists over here. First of all, my friend Tehseen Poonawala, I've always seen him talking to the point. He has never been away from the points, and whatever he said, not because he's believing in the same thought process of our parties, but definitely election around the corner, it does raise a question that why the statement always comes during the elections or before the elections. One thing I saw, that the CJI had called up Prime Minister Modi had gone to his place for the puja. On that also we had discussed and debated that constitutional pillar and political pillar or democratic pillar. Two different pillars of justice are never to be mixed up. Again, the CJI has been influenced by it, or what I do not understand. We are a country where we are multilingual, multi-beliefs, multicultural, and there are lots of people believing in different gods. So, like, suppose if we go to a surgeon, we will not look at his religion before undergoing for a surgery. He will not tell you that I am going to pray to God and then I will say whether I can save you or not. He will do what God has given him, what God has provided him with the science, with the study, and he will go according to the procedure of the surgery. Same goes for the courts or the judiciary, that this is the way it will be, not otherwise. Rest, we leave it to the Almighty. But that does not mean that I gave the verdict or I was a part of the bench and I prayed to God. Praying to God is very important. It's a part of our religion, our belief. But first and foremost is the procedure. This is why there are courts, this is why there are hospitals.
So are you suggesting that procedure was compromised? Did you not hear Vishnu Shankar Jain, Dr. Ranganathan?
We cannot. Why?
How are you jumping to the conclusion that procedure was compromised, Mr. Supariwala? And by the way, you know, for all this exposition of yours on multiculturalism, tolerance, religion, Shiv Sena members, and you know the names, I don't want to take their names, they have said that we destroyed Babri, humne todi hai. So, you know, spare this to our viewer. Dr. Ranganathan, now we are back to the procedure. Let's quickly get in the BJP, then I'll come back to you. RP Singh ji, अब देखिए इसमें election spin आ गया है. BJP is accused of using this for political benefits.
Problem with the Samajwadi Party or the opposition and Congress Party is that they don't believe in Ram at all. That's the basic issue. There was a judge named Abdul Nazir also. I mean, he would have also gone to his prayer room and would have prayed to the God that I must give the right judgment today. I mean, I think he has not said so, but he would have also done the similar thing, something like that. But they would not have raised any question on that had he said so, because he's Abdul Nazir, he's former Chief Justice Abdul Nazir, former Supreme Court Judge Abdul Nazir. So they have to raise question on anything which is related to Sanatana, although Ranganathan, you missed on one proof, which you elaborated everything else, but you missed on one, which was that it was the Sikh Nihang Singhs who went there and then did puja there, and then the case was filed, and that was part of the judgment.
Right.
That it was the Nihang Singhs who did the puja in 1858, November 1858, and because of that, it was said that yes, the puja was conducted there. But coming to the issue, problem with the Congress, other problem with the Congress is they want judiciary to be their handpicked people. They want a judiciary who decide as per them. I mean, their way or highway. I'll quote you a few judges. Bachchu Jagannathan Das ji. He was Supreme Court judge in 1953-58, but before that, he was a Congress member. Justice Altaf Alam, he was a Congress member and he was appointed as a High Court judge by the Congress party. So is Justice K.S. Hegde, was a congressman and he was superseded as Chief Justice in 1973, but he was Member of Parliament of the Congress.
All this is documented. I get the larger point that you are making.
Rights that judges should...
Right. Vishnu Jain, there are many like Mr. Supariwala who are still stuck on procedure.
Now see, I think I was there in the hearing. I was, as a lawyer, I was appearing before the Honorable Supreme Court in this very case. And let me tell you, Pranesh, with lot of sense of responsibility as an officer of the court, that after Keshav Nanda Bharti case, this is the second longest hearing documented in the history of the Supreme Court. This matter was heard for 42 days, and the pains which the Honorable Court has taken to hear this matter and to decide this matter was that even on the days of Saturday, this matter was heard and historical judgment was passed on 9th of November 2019. During this entire 42 days of hearing, Pranesh, all the 5 judges were very patient with all the fellow lawyers who had appeared before the Honorable Court. There were various instances where heated arguments were there. Lot of maps of Ram Lalla were also torn before the Honorable Supreme Court. Hindus were called as Talibanis. Lot of things have happened during this hearing of 42 days and everything was heard. The due procedure of hearing all the parties was followed. No one can say who has appeared in this case that they were not heard. But let me point it out, that no party who has appeared before the Supreme Court in this case and who were parties in this case, no one has ever alleged till date. You may be satisfied with the judgment, you may be unsatisfied with the judgment, that's your viewpoint. But no one has said that the procedure has not been followed. So this is a very novel argument by Mr. Sajid that procedures were violated. Point number 1. Point number 2, kindly see the era when this Ram Mandir case was being decided. This appeal was filed in the Supreme Court from 2011. From past 7 years, all the parties were praying to the Honorable Supreme Court that please put quietus to the matter. After hearing both the sides from 2nd of August 2019, Pranesh, I remember the dates very clearly. On 2nd of August 2019, the Supreme Court decided that they will do day-to-day hearing of this matter. Mr. Vaidyanathan, Mr. Sham Diwan, apart from that, Mr. Parasaran, all the seniors from our side argued, Mr. Rajiv Dhawan argued, Mr. Maqbool argued, everyone was heard very patiently and then the judgment was delivered. So this is a very novel argument that procedures were violated. And apart from that, I also want to tell you that if CJI is practicing a particular faith, he has said that he has prayed to the deity so that he can come to a solution. And every judge has a right to pray to their god and goddesses. I do not want to take names here where various judges, they offer namaz, they do their prayers. So what's wrong in this? That if someone is praying
Mr.
to the
Supariwala,
deity,
why are you targeting the CJI and maligning the verdict, Mr. Supariwala?
We are just talking about the timing. The timing of the statement of the CJI, we are talking about that the elections are just coming up, as if BJP was waiting for anybody to say something and politicize the issue.
Okay, 1 minute. Let me ask you
they
this.
Are waiting
okay.
and
Elections have been announced in Maharashtra. Mr. Supariwala, listen to me. You have a problem with the timing. Then you will have a problem with the place that why in Pune? If the CJI is from Pune, where will he go and address the people? But that's besides the point. You tell me during Ganesh Chaturthi, elections were not announced. Why did you... Why did you object to CJI doing Ganesh Aarti with the Prime Minister? Why?
Elections were round the corner.
When are elections not round the corner?
That is why all this is happening.
Dr. Ranganathan, when are elections not round the corner?
Just to prevent elections from being round the corner, you want to have, the government wants to have one nation, one election, and these guys are opposing it. Ab kare to kya kare, na kare to kya kare. But I want to ask a very simple question to my good friend and brother Sajid Bhai. He is saying that God cannot dictate the judgment, even though the Chief Justice never said that the judgment was dictated by God. But I want to ask him, the verses that he believes and abides by, who dictated those verses? Was it not Allah? वो आप believe कर रहे हैं कि नहीं कर रहे हैं?
No, he will say he is not a judge. That applies only to justices.
I did not say that. I said the timing. The timing.
But Sajid bhai, what is a good time for the CJI? You tell me.
I'm not talking. Everybody has the right to
Mr. Supariwala, for the benefit of our viewers, in all earnestness, I'm asking you, what do you believe or think is a good time for the CJI to say what he did?
Why he had to say these things?
Now
he
there you
go.
Person. Now you have a problem with the timing. Now you have a problem with the content.
Everybody is practicing the religion. No, timing is there because the elections are around the corner.
Don't smile. Tehseen, don't smile. You are,
why not before?
Just because, CJI practices his faith, does that mean that, he is anti-other religion, anti-other faith?
Absolutely not. It doesn't mean that, number one. Number two, the first three words of our constitution are "We the people," so we have a right to question anyone and everyone, including the Honorable Chief Justice. None of that is put in dispute. The question out here simply is this, and it's a very simple question, that this Chief Justice believed, for right measures, that he sought divine intervention, help, meditation, whatever. It worked for him. There's a judgment, and we have to move on. Now, my advice to my side of the fence, because I want to see BJP defeated, is why are we raking up issues that don't really bring political dividends? Even if we believe somebody will get political dividends in a race, let go of issues. There are more important issues to raise so that we can...
Okay, Sajid Supariwala, why are you making this an issue?
And I don't... One second. I just have one thing very important to say. I do believe very firmly, and again, I want to counter Anand on this, I do believe extremely firmly that beyond science or beyond physics is metaphysics, and sometimes you do get answers from the universe, however we take it, and those answers help us, and that's what we call manifestation, that's what we call solutions, and I think that's the way it channelizes. So I think if somebody gets that, I compliment the Chief Justice.
But at the outset, Dr. Ranganathan made it clear, in fact, I said it in my introduction, that these are matters of law. This is not someone getting a manifestation and someone dictating that, look, here's your part of the judgment. Tehseen, now come on. Sajid Supariwala, Tehseen Poonawala is asking you. IP Singh, Tehseen आपसे पूछ रहे हैं कि क्यों आप इसको मुद्दा बना रहे हैं? Why are you objecting to what the CJI said? अब बताइए. अब ये मत बोलिएगा IP सिंह जी सवाल क्या है? सवाल क्या है वो तहसीन पूनावाला ने बता दिया है.
देखिए उनके अपने स्टैंड हो सकते हैं.
अपने स्टैंड अभी आप बोल रहे थे हम सब एक ही साथ हैं. अभी अपने स्टैंड हो गए.
देश की क्या सबसे नहीं सवाल यह है कि आज जिस मुद्दे पर तहसीन पूनावाला अपने विचार रखना चाहते हैं उस पर हमारे राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी ने बहुत साफ तौर से कहा है कि जो न्यायपालिका उसका हम सम्मान करते हैं. जो चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया हैं DY चंद्रचूड़ जी, हम उनका सम्मान करते हैं. और प्रोफेसर साहब के बयान को लेकर जिस तरह से ट्विस्ट किया गया, जिस तरह से
ये प्रोफेसर साहब के बारे में नहीं है. दिस इज नॉट अबाउट राम गोपाल यादव. आई एम सॉरी IP सिंह, 1 मिनट. डोंट टर्न दिस इनटू अ पार्टी इवेंट. ये कोई समाजवादी पार्टी का इवेंट नहीं है. दिस इज नॉट अबाउट राम गोपाल यादव. आई सेड इवन इफ यू वर टू टेक अवे व्हाट ही सेड, उसको हटा दीजिए. बाकी लोग जो चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया को अटैक कर रहे हैं वो गलत कह रहे हैं, और गलत कर रहे हैं तो आपको बोलना है कि वो गलत है. जैसे तहसीन कह रहे हैं, आप बोलिए कि ये गलत कर रहे हैं जो राजनीति कर रहे हैं इस पे.
देखिए न्यायपालिका पर हम हर मुद्दे पर सवाल नहीं खड़े कर सकते. हर मुद्दे पर हम हमारी जवाबदेही नहीं बनती है. हर मुद्दे पर हम उसको गुमराह नहीं कर सकते हैं. अपने अलग अलग ओपिनियन है. कौन सा पत्रकार क्या कौन सी बात कहलवाना चाहता है.
नहीं, ये पत्रकारों के बारे में नहीं है. साजिद सुपारीवाला, योर allies, Congress and the SP, they are both telling you that back off. This is not going to work. Stop maligning the judiciary.
1 minute, I have to tell you. Can I come in?
Please, sir.
We are not against the judiciary. We have accepted very nicely everything. We are in a democracy. We have the right to ask questions to anybody, even the PM. So please don't tell me that we cannot ask questions, okay? So
of course you can ask questions, but the comments that you make have to be based on something.
We are ready. What I'm trying to tell you, that comment was only that why the timing. I was just talking about the timing.
First you had a problem with the timing, then you said why did the CJI have to say that? I don't understand. Vishnu Jain, quickly, what do you make of this entire controversy?
See, Pranesh, kindly understand this entire issue, and the arguments which are being made today in front of you are coming from a particular mentality, and let me open this up for you. See, first you have to understand that the allegation which is made on the timing, let us analyze this timing argument. What do you mean by this timing, sir? do you mean to say that when CJI was speaking about an event about women empowerment in an event in Pune, you mean to say that CJI is helping a particular party? Are you trying to attribute your motives to the Honorable Chief Justice of India? Let me tell you, sir, that he is the Chief Justice of India and he will be till 9th of November the Chief Justice of India. And you please do not undermine the dignity of the Honorable Court on a national channel. Point number 2, Pranesh, let me tell you why these arguments are made. There is a book which is written by Pranab Mukherjee, The Turbulent Years, and I would request all the panelists to read that book. In that book, The Turbulent Years, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee has said that Rajiv Gandhi's biggest mistake was to order for opening of locks of Ram Lalla. This he has written in his books.
Right.
While the fact of the matter is that the locks of Ram Temple in 1989 were opened by the district judge under the orders of the Honorable District Judge. So this mentality which is there in this particular party and this argument is that they believe that the judiciary of this country is functioning on the dictates of a particular party or a particular leader. This mentality has to go. The judiciary is a separate independent institution. And if you are trying to attribute motives to the judiciary,
and then they say from a pulpit that we want to save institutions, we want to save constitution and democracy. By the way, this is just for the record, the first 2 lines, Dr. Ranganathan, the first 2 lines of the conclusion on the title on Ram Janmabhoomi case. Here I am reading. The facts, evidence and oral arguments of the present case have traversed the realms of history, archaeology, religion and the law. The law must stand apart from political contestations over history, ideology and religion. This is what is written. This is part of the written order. Tehseen, you have the last word. You wanted to say something.
No, just one small count to Vishnu Jain Bhai. While it's true that the locks were opened by the district judge, what is also true that the Congress was in power both in the centre and state and did not challenge the order. They did not go to High Court, and it was Rajiv Gandhi ji who not only ordered it, it was his last wish that a Ayodhya Ram Mandir be built.
By the way, the Congress is also in alliance with the Shiv Sena, Dr. Ranganathan. Now, this is another facet of the debate.
And by the way, Tehseen very brilliantly gave no reasons as to why Rajiv Gandhi did it, without explaining that it was a direct result of the Shah Bano judgment overturning.
Timing pe chup ho gaye.
Timing.
Okay. I thank some of you for joining us on debate number 1, viewers.